So welcome to Vinyasa for Beginners. This is a pretty simple flow. It should be accessible to anyone, but always certainly be mindful of your body. I hope you enjoy it and come back and do it again. So we are going to start in our child's pose here. I like to bring the knees out nice and wide and feet together, connecting with the breath, because that starts to open up the hips. And we're going to take a few breaths here. Nice deep inhales into the belly. Take a nice deep inhale once again, and on the exhale, we're going to walk the hands to the right, placing the left palm on top of the right hand, adding a little side body stretch here, getting a little deeper into that shoulder, and come back to center for a breath. Take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, walk the hands to the left, place the right palm on top of the left hand. And let's come back to center for a breath. Nice deep inhale here, and then we're going to make our way to our tabletop position, neutral spine. So the knees are underneath the hips, wrists are underneath the shoulders. We're going to take the palms and turn them so the fingertips are facing the back of your mat, and just gently rock from front to back here for a couple of breaths. You want to get those wrists nice and open, and if this feels really uncomfortable, it's probably because you need it and you never do it. Let's turn those wrists back so the fingertips are facing the top of your mat. Take a nice deep inhale, right arm to the sky. On the exhale, we're going to thread it underneath the left, bringing the right cheek to the floor. The left arm can either reach toward the top of the mat or up to the sky, or bind it behind your back. A little twist here. Couple of breaths. And let's find our way back to that tabletop neutral spine. Other side, inhale, left arm to the sky. Exhale, thread it underneath the right, left cheek to the floor. And again, right arm can reach toward the top of the mat or up to the sky, or bind it behind your back, whatever feels good for your body. Take a couple of breaths here. And find your way back to that tabletop. So we're going to warm up our spine with our cat-cows. On your inhale, lift the chin, lift the tailbone, draw the shoulders down the back. On the exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, pull the belly button to the back body. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, lift. And exhale, tuck. Coming back to a neutral spine position, we're going to take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, flex the feet, lift the knees, coming into our first downward facing dog here. So take your dog for a walk. Maybe you pedal the feet a little bit, wiggle the hips, just notice what the body is asking of you. Nice deep inhale here. Next inhale, gaze forward. On the exhale, gently step up to the top of the mat for the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. So anytime you were in a forward fold, make sure you tuck the chin to the chest. It opens up the cervical spine, part of the spine that has the most mobility. So we want to keep it nice and fluid and mobile. And let's grab opposite elbows, gently sway from side to side for a breath or two. Next inhale, slowly rise up, rounded spine, arms to the sky, palms facing one another. Exhale, hands in prayer, thumbs at the heart. Nice deep inhale. On the exhale, hands come down by the sides of the body, Tadasana. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, plant the palms. Right foot comes to the back of the mat. Gently lower the right knee to the ground. And on your next inhale, sweep those arms up to the sky. Now, if it's accessible, drop those hips so you can get an extra stretch in that right hip flexor here. Lift that heart, tall spine, long arms to the sky. Next inhale, bring the hands in prayer, and on the exhale, twist to the left. Now really press the palms firmly together. It'll create tension, give you a little bit more stability. There should be a straight line from elbow to elbow here while you hook that elbow to the outside of the knee thigh area. Nice deep inhale. Let's come back to center, plant the palms. Flex the right foot, lift the knee. Find your way back to downward facing dog. Next inhale, gaze forward. On the exhale, gently step up to the top of the mat for the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. So in your fold, you can grab opposite elbows or maybe your yogi toe lock, pulling the crown of the head closer to the ground. Or if your hamstrings are already nice and open, maybe you put the palms underneath the feet, bringing the toes to the wrists. Next inhale, slowly rise up, rounded spine, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands in prayer, thumbs at the heart. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, hands come down by the sides of the body, Tadasana. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, plant the palms. The left foot comes to the back of the mat. Gently lower the left knee to the ground. And on your inhale, sweep those arms up to the sky. And once again, if it's accessible, drop those hips a little bit. Extra stretch in that left hip flexor here. Sorry about that. Lift the heart, tall spine, reach with the arms. Next inhale, hands in prayer. On the exhale, twist to the right. Again, firmly pressing those palms together, creating tension. Inhale, come to center, plant the palms, flex the left foot, lift the knee. Find your way back to downward facing dog. And from here, let's just bring the knees to the mat. Take a child's pose for a few recovery breaths. We're going to come back to our tabletop position, neutral spine. Knees are underneath the hips, wrists are underneath the shoulders. Flex the feet, lift the knees, come back to downward facing dog. Next inhale, gaze forward. On the exhale, step up to the top of the mat for the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Couple of breaths in your fold. Again, take whatever options feel good for you here. Next inhale, slowly rise up, arms to the sky, palms facing one another. Exhale, hands in prayer, thumbs at the heart. Nice deep inhale. On the exhale, hands come down by the sides of the body, Tadasana. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, plant the palms. Right foot comes to the back of the mat. You're going to turn that right foot on a 45-degree angle. Give yourself a lot of space between that front and back foot. On your inhale, cartwheel the arms upward, warrior two, gazing off of the front middle finger. Fire up the right glute here. It'll give you more stability. Nice deep inhale again. On the exhale, left arm to the sky, reverse warrior. Inhale once again. On the exhale, back to warrior two for just a breath. Take an inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, reach forward. Lower the left hand, right arm to the sky. Trikonasana, your triangle pose. So this is a twist pose. You want that heart open to the side of the room there, hip gazing toward the sky. Option here, you can bring that right arm and reach overhead. So let's put a bend in that left leg. We're going to come to center, teepee fingers each side of the foot, And then turn the back foot so the toes are facing the top of your mat. Just rock from front to back for a moment. Notice where you feel the stretch. You're hitting the hamstring and IT band here. Let's gently lower the right knee to the ground. Take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, tailbone back for your half split. Now don't bring the tailbone too far back because you will lose quite a bit of that hamstring and IT stretch, IT band. Let's put a bend back into that left leg. Flex the right foot, lift the knee, find your way back to your downward facing dog. Next inhale, gaze forward. On the exhale, gently step up to the top of the mat for the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Next inhale, slowly rise up, arms to the sky, palms facing one another. Exhale, hands in prayer, thumbs at the heart. Nice deep inhale. On the exhale, hands come down by the sides of the body, Tadasana. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time on the exhale, plant the palms and left foot comes to the back of the mat. Turn that left foot on a 45-degree angle, a lot of space between the front and back foot. Inhale, cartwheel those arms up, warrior two. Fire up the left glute, keep it really engaged. Nice deep inhale. On the exhale, right arm to the sky, reverse warrior. Inhale once again. On the exhale, coming back to warrior two for just a breath. Take an inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, reach forward. Lower the right hand, left arm to the sky for Trikonasana on this side. Again, heart is open, hip is gazing toward the sky. And your option, maybe you take that left arm and reach overhead with the palm facing down, adding a really nice side body stretch here and a little extra in the shoulder. Let's put a bend in that right leg. TP fingers each side of the foot. Turn that back foot so the toes are facing the top of your mat. Gently rock from front to back for a moment. Let's lower that left knee to the ground. Take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, tailbone back, half split. And maybe with every exhale, you move that forehead a little bit closer to the knee, getting an extra stretch here. And let's put a bend back into that right leg, plant the palms, flex the left foot, lift the knee. Find your way back to your downward facing dog. Let's bring the knees to the mat. And we're just going to find our way to a seated position. Tailbone is at the back of the mat. Legs are long in front of you. We're just going to take a nice forward fold. Small bend in the knees, arms to the sky, belly to the thighs, reach for the toes. With every exhale, maybe you take some bend out until eventually the legs are straight. And if they're not straight today, they might be tomorrow or next week. Always give yourself some grace. And walk the hands back to the body. And from here, you can set up for your most important posture, Shavasana. Letting the legs go long, relaxing the arms down by the sides of the body. Relax the jaw, the facial muscles, release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And let the body melt into the mat. And you can stay here for as long as it feels good for you.